All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to talk about the prime example of what happens when you actually give the fans what they want. I know this is such an odd thing, right? Because this should be such an easy thing to do. Fan service should be the easiest thing to do when you're a creative and you're trying to make a movie that you know you're trying to sell and you're trying to make money from. And the way to do that is by giving the fans what you know they already want, and you decide to actually do that. And then everybody who has to look at this film, who shills for identity politics, who has cheered on the death of over 20 some odd movies by now has to look at this film, Deadpool and Wolverine, and realize the exact thing that happens when you give the fans what they want.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, it is.
No, it isn't.
It is.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, it is.
It really isn't.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
Told you.
Get out of my head!
Now, I gotta admit, man, when Deadpool and Wolverine got announced, we all said that this was going to be a banger. We all knew this was going to be a $1 billion movie. There was no way this was not going to be a $1 billion plus movie. This movie is going to be massively successful, and it has a $450+ million opening box office. That is insane, considering that when you start comparing it to previous projects, right? Think about this for a second. Deadpool and Wolverine has done more money by almost more than double, I would say. More money than the Marvels did in its entire theatrical run worldwide, ladies and gentlemen, in one singular opening. That is insanity when you start looking at these numbers. But again, think of it from this standpoint. Think about Marvel. Think about Disney, the company that has not been giving the fans what they wanted for a long time now. The company that has been trying to convince you that DEI is the future. The company that has all these shills that will be on Twitter and try to convince you that the Marvel is such an amazing movie. That all these just terrible MCU films have been the most amazing thing since God knows what. And now you got one movie that gives the fans what they want. And it absolutely proves every single one of their arguments completely wrong. So let's get into this article, guys, from Fandom Pulse. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. It has a headline that reads, with Deadpool and Wolverine movie success, Marvel Comics gender and race swaps Deadpool to kill potential comic sales. 450 million in box office sales aren't going to lead anyone to comic shops with this Deadpool move. Now, apparently what's been happening, and I don't consume American comics, so this means nothing to me. I just want to let you guys obviously know that. You guys know I love manga. It is what it is. But it is amazing to me that you just released a film that gives the fans what they want. And you just released a film that is destroying the box office. It is not even close. Like, it is insane that you have a film that is going to do $1 billion plus, and the idea that you have in your mind is to release a female Deadpool. That's the idea, to release a female Deadpool comic, as if that's what people are going to want coming away from Deadpool and Wolverine. Why the fuck you would do that? I have absolutely no idea. Again, it shows that this is just something to subsidize their garbage, right? I genuinely believe that movies like Deadpool and Wolverine are just meant to subsidize the garbage that Disney wants to do, right? Every once in a while, they're going to give the fans a little bit of a bone. They're going to give you guys a bone and try to get you to go back into the seats, give them money, and then they're going to take that money and they're going to create bullshit like this. One of the Marvel Comics' most incredible mistakes they keep making repeatedly is their inability to have their comics line reflect popular movies that are out in the cinemas. Now, this is something that manga does very well, okay? Manga and anime, they do this very well. Anime, for the most part, there are some unfortunate animes that just decided to either not follow the source material or didn't have enough source material to follow, and by the time that manga finished, it was too late, and the anime already came out, and it was already shitty. But for the most part, they do try to do a fair one-to-one that's going to give people who are fans of the manga a visual representation of the stuff that they read. That's not what happens in America, unfortunately. It's not what happens with Western media. We get bullshit. We get the DEI versions of what was in the comics from ages ago. It says the potential audience of millions are left confused when they go and try to check out their favorite properties like Deadpool and Wolverine after enjoying a movie, all because of DEI replacement characters forced into the comics. It's just one of the many major problems in the comic book industry. Deadpool and Wolverine is on track to make $450 million in its opening weekend. Fucking insane. One of the biggest successes any superhero movie has had in years. With Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman reprising characters, along with a myriad of cameos and callbacks to earlier films audiences enjoyed, it shows that viewers will come in for nostalgia of the things they loved before the MCU became mired in identity politics-driven films and TV shows on Disney+. Now, again, it's sad because I know, and a lot of other people know, that this shit is not going to last, right? This is just a one-off, and it's a one-off that's going to happen every few years when they need to make some money and when they need to give you guys a bone and just keep you somewhat involved in the hopes that you have it in the back of your mind that this shit is going to change, but it's not going to change. For every one Deadpool and Wolverine movie, you're going to get 10 to 20 shitty-ass projects that are going to be subsidized by this fucking awesome movie, and that's the strategy that they have. Again, it's not really about money for them at the end of the day. They get so much money from elsewhere, it doesn't matter. They're subsidized as much as anything else. But at the end of the day, they need to make sure that the entertainment industry, or the entertainment sector of Disney, is at least providing some sort of profit. So when they talk to investors, they can say, oh, look, we did something, right? That's exactly what's happening here with Deadpool and Wolverine. This is the version of, oh, look, we did something. We gave those stupid racist bigots exactly what they wanted, and now we're making so much money, we don't even know what to do with it all. I guess we need to make 10 more DEI films in order to blow it, because God knows we don't like keeping money. And then it says at San Diego Comic-Con, Marvel announced that they will be killing the classic Deadpool character right as this film comes out. It's a bizarre move, timing-wise. This has to upset comic shops that would like to sell more comics starring Wade Wilson while the movie is hot. But what Marvel Comics announced gets even stranger than that. Like so many other characters, Deadpool will be replaced by a female character, Wade's daughter, in upcoming issues. Anyone coming into the comic shop excited about Deadpool and Wolverine movie being a throwback to a classic male-starring superhero films like the MCU used to have will get treated to seeing another strong female lead on the stands. Marvel announces at Comic-Con, leaving fans scratching their heads as to why they're making this move. It goes one step further in the diversity department, as Deadpool's daughter is a brown girl, Latina, as the daughter of Carmelita Camacho. She doesn't even share Wade Wilson's last name. Jesus Christ. Is this her? Holy shit, man. I gotta tell you, the art has been getting so bad, and I mean so bad, in American mainstream comics. I don't know how you guys are putting up with this shit. I mean, look at this. She looks like she has downs. Like, why are we doing this? But again, when you start to realize who actually drew it and wrote it, then that makes a lot more sense, right? So this particular DEI hire that I don't even know. Nerd Wars, if you're watching, definitely use this guy for the thumbnail. Holy shit, man. This this explains a lot. This book is written by Marvel Comics diversity hire named Cody Ziegler, who worked in the writer's room at the MCU's greatest Disney Plus failure, She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. So this creature right here on the bottom was one of the writers that wrote She-Hulk. Of course. Now it all starts to make sense, right? When you start following the money, when you start following the DEI, it all starts to make sense. They all work on the same garbage, and I'm sure that this fucking creature couldn't wait to sex swap Deadpool. And then it says that Attorney at Law and has been writing the replacement Spider-Man character in Miles Morales as the company. It's a completely insane move for Marvel Comics editorial to do when they finally have a film people are excited about seeing. Comic shops should get momentum in sales from a good Deadpool book, but instead they will lose out on any bump the movie could offer once again. This looks like Marvel had its major characters replaced with minorities and females in 2014 to 2016 when the MCU was at its hottest. Despite movie success, Marvel comic sales were down significantly. And that's because they didn't translate, right? So it didn't matter. As hot as the movies were, if the comics don't translate well from the movies or vice versa, then you're not going to have much crossover. And that's just never going to be a thing, right? This is why anime and manga is so fucking successful, is because they have a massive amount of crossover. If you're a manga reader, chances are you're an anime watcher, right? Or vice versa. And that's because that if you pick up a manga and you read about it and then you go watch the anime about it, chances are 9 times out of 10, it's going to be exactly what you read about, which is what people want. They don't want to pick up a story read about it, and then go watch a movie or TV show based on that story and get this fucking creature on the screen. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what they want. So at the end of the day, man, Marvel and Disney is not going to learn from this. I highly doubt it. And time is going to tell, you know, whether or not this actually becomes a thing where they start learning and making things better. It's going to take time, right? Because movies have a long cycle of development, and it's going to take time to find out if they're actually going to be learning anything. I just highly doubt that's going to be the case. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.